So we're waiting for Reggie to join in. Reggie and Bollie fame. Yeah, he's gonna be on the live with me. We talking Ghana music. From our artist perspective. We hear of the stories all the time. It's good that we get to hear from the artists themselves. He's experienced both sides, so he's best placed to give us his opinion. It matters. But otherwise, I'm good. Thank God. Life is good. You've got to look at it from a positive standpoint. Otherwise, you're going to be out there just kicking yourself all the time. You don't need that. You just go be pragmatic and deal with the situation at hand. So yeah, that's the vibe. Otherwise, everything else nice and easy. Let me position myself well. A day in time. A day in time of the Soundboy. Dressed in my Sunday best. As you can hear, Mr. Softy is out there trying to make his business. Zippy, Reggie N Bollie. Yes, Reg.
Hey, the big man himself.
Yes, King. What's good, my brother?
Man, all good, all good. Yourself?
Yeah. I'm all right, just out here.
Yeah,
blessed and strong.
Yeah.
Blessed and strong. That's what I can take from it. I'm trying to get my position up a bit,
Yeah, man. No worries at all.
In the garden, just chilling.
Yeah. I've been in the garden like all afternoon, so now it's like indoor.
You just got to take advantage of the beautiful weather,
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Because otherwise, we miss out.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, but how are you though?
All good, bro. Like, we're all trying to keep safe, spending more time with the family at home. Obviously, we're still praying for all the families who have been affected, and but so far so good. I'm all right. My brother Bollie is also great. So it's all positive at the moment.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a chat. At least we're from the same school of thought. A lot of things.
That's right. Yeah. Just to let you know, we've got some dons joining. I can see Emmanuel Smith of The Voice UK 2019. You know him, right?
Yeah,
Emmanuel. So he's just joined in. Big up yourself. And before I came on, Aisem, the Ghanaian rapper Aisem, said he's also gonna log in. So big up. I see Fifi Pratt as well. So yeah.
Yo, Pratt.
Yeah,
Pratt he's killing it in Ghana,
Yeah.
He's out there killing it in Ghana.
That's it.
Making the most of it,
Yeah, man.
I like how Pratt has embraced technology,
That's right. Yeah.
If anybody just told me Pratt is going to be so tech savvy, I wouldn't have believed it.
You wouldn't really. Yeah, because Pratt is the man who still goes by his CDs,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know him very well.
Yeah. You can't go for an interview with a new song and not bring the CD.
It's not going to work.
Fifi Pratt, salute. I see you, Brandon Beavage. I see you. We got some British YouTubers joining in as well. So this is looking great.
Yeah, very, very good, man.
Yeah, Bianca, everyone joining. Yeah, man.
That's what we need. I'm trying to position my stand very well.
Sure.
Yeah, so I get the most out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even before we go on, like I was watching the news this evening before I phoned into your IG, and I want to say we all need to still keep safe, you know, make sure we're doing the right thing, because it's crazy. People are just laughing at us. You know, because like, I mean, the news, especially hearing that now the virus is infecting more people from the black and ethnic minorities, the Asian community over here in UK, is quite scary, you know. And I feel like, you know, these are some times that we really have to stay together and, you know, make the right choices, because it's scary. I mean, to know that, and this is on BBC, that 90% of black people are prone to get the virus. You know what I mean? So
it's a lot of factors, you know.
yeah.
We're having this debate in our WhatsApp group this morning. It's something that, I mean, you know my background anyway, so
that's right.
I program manage within the NHS, so
that's right. Okay.
Some of these things I'm privy to them. I mean, these are my opinions, by the way. But there are a lot of factors, you know. We've got economic factors, we've got, you know, underlying health conditions. Yeah. So it's a case of being responsible for yourself as individuals, you know. Yeah. You've got to be very responsible. If you're going to go out, there's got to be a genuine reason why you're going out, you know. Yeah. You're doing it just for your own self, you know.
That's right. Think of it that
way. For you and your family, you know. There's a lot going on out there. But it's incredible that there's expectations raised that, you know, maybe the lockdown is going to be eased up on Sunday when the PM addresses the nation. But come on, do you really want to be out there jumping around like nothing?
To be honest, I don't want to, especially after, you know, hearing all these, you know, numbers skyrocket, and I'm like, now the UK is leading in terms of, you know, people who have died, the whole of Europe. Which is really scary. So, I mean, we still have to all big up everyone who is locked in now. Listen, guys, let's still keep ourselves safe, you know. Don't risk it. Do you know what I mean?
Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to just risk it? We've been home for a month and a half or whatever it is now. Yeah. I'm sure people have been acclimatized to how the new way of life. Yeah. It's not the best. I mean, nobody wants to be spending summertime in a condition like this. But we've got to be we've got
smarter.
We've got to be smarter. You know. So if you just joined in, my name is Teddy Abrokwa, the Soundboy team.
Man.
Me and Reg go way back.
Yeah.
We go way back. But the interesting thing is we never met. You know. We always used to vibe. But
that's true.
Yeah, for years, man. But,
yes.
But never met. I will see Bollie at like parties and Ghana events, you know, if he's performing.
That's right.
But I never met you. I'm like, where's this guy? And then I got fed up. I got fed up with the whole industry, man. When I was even at the peak of it, I never really enjoyed the Ghanaian industry or because of the BS. There was a lot of BS going on.
That's right.
So, which I didn't agree with. So I wasn't doing that industry stuff at all. Yeah. I only come out when I have a show or maybe, but you always find me on the radio.
Exactly.
And then you don't get to see me. Yeah. So that was partly the reason why we never really met. And then, you know, but we always had that energy.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
So people are asking that where's Bollie? The reason Bollie is not on, we have a special coming up. Once our quarantine is over, we have an in-depth conversation with Reggie N Bollie. Yeah. So today's conversation, we're going to be limiting it to Reggie Zippy.
That's right.
You know, there will be references to
big up man like DJ Invisible. We see you, bro.
Shout out to Invisible, man.
Yeah, man.
Invisible, as you can see, we are clear today. Very clear connection. No Teddy right.
Yeah, someone is asking if Bollie is well. Yeah, Bollie is great, man. Just like the big man Teddy said, it's just, you know, him trying to preserve something bigger he's got coming up with that. So he just decided to do it with just myself. And then, you know, when we all come out of lockdown, you're going to hear from myself and Bollie with him sat down and going real deep.
And we have the cameras and we play the music as well.
That's right. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that.
I know you guys. What's going on, man? The sounds keep coming. That's good, man.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. But yo, Reg, I'm, glad to hear that family is good.
Yeah.
In this condition, we've got to be checking on each other.
Exactly.
And, as a family man in the entertainment industry, it comes with a lot of pressure, which you are aware of.
Yeah. It's not an easy combination. Trust me.
How you managing it though?
Like, I think the good thing for me is I have actually had a family for literally close to 14 years now. So I'm really now used to it. But I think it's more of making sure you strike a very good balance and don't get too carried away with one side. And, because if you try to focus too much on maybe the music or the business side, you might end up, making the family miss out. So it's about finding balance here and there, when like now that we are fully at home, like I've got no reason. So I've literally done whatever fun games I can with my kids. We've sat down, we've had chat. Literally me and my boys have had arguments. They're teasing me that, I'm putting on weight and stuff, so it's all good. And I'm really loving it. It's just a shame that we are actually able to do all of these things because of a pandemic that is keeping the whole world indoors. Yeah.
Yeah. At least, that's one thing that you can always take away from it. It's brought a lot of people much closer.
Yeah.
Just for context, you've got how many kids? How many?
I've got 3 kids, 2 boys and a little girl.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. They're all with their mom, I've got 1 wife. Yeah.
Good to be clear, man.
That's right. Yeah. 1 wife, 1 mother for my kids. Yeah, and she's an amazing woman. She's really held me down from, years. I always credit her for even my ability to dream internationally at the time that I met her, because when I met her, I was just at the beginning of my career as a hip life artist, and just meeting, we met in Italy, and she's like, she listened to some of my tracks. She's like, oh, I really like what you do. I think maybe you should be thinking more international, because I know 1 or 2 people who are also from Africa, and they were able to, and that actually put that fire in my soul. And obviously the fact that I could be living together with her even made it better when,
So, because those who watched X Factor, I mean, they saw your family.
Yeah.
You won a lot of hearts.
Yeah.
You and your brother, Bollie.
Yeah.
Not being reserved about your family life, but it was actually in the forefront, which was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was actually beautiful to
it was a big moment for us, because, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, in our industry, as entertainers in this industry, it easily comes across, and I know a lot of fathers who feel a bit held back just because of having family, because like you can't really travel if you've got a child that needs to be picked up from the childminder. Do you know what I mean? You can't go out at times if maybe. So it's like, for us, it was like, yo, like, if we can go through this experience with our whole family, and they love it. Like, to date, they still pick up videos, watch themselves. They're like, oh, daddy, look, I was so small, this, that. I feel like that's nice.
But how did they adjust to that kind of boom in popularity?
Yeah.
Because being on national TV and being on a program that is beamed across the whole wide world.
That's right.
Having president mention your names and all of that. How did they acclimatize to that?
To be honest, I think my first son, my eldest, he was okay with it. He was very, very aware of what was happening. He would go to school, be cool. And it was so funny. Like, every time we had the chance to go home, when I had to pick them from school, like, their friends would literally come and they had to sign the autographs with me, so they were loving it, you know what I mean? But I think my second son was at an age where he was kind of discovering himself as a little boy, do you know what I mean? So I think it impacted him a little bit. But you know, with time, he began to understand everything. And luckily, I'll say his teachers were very supportive at the time because they knew it was hectic. And you know, my little girl, for her, she was very small, so all she knows is Daddy went on X Factor, but she doesn't really remember everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's an experience that we'll explore, you know, in due course. But
Exactly.
you know, but shouts to Bollie though, shouts to
Yo,
Bollie.
big up man like Bollie, man.
The thing is,
I'm sure by now he's logged in with his family, you know, at home. Yeah, man.
You two are the most coolest cats I've met
Wow.
in our industry. You know, I mean,
Thanks, bro.
I've met quite a lot of cool cats too, but the two of you, so I wasn't surprised that you were able to keep that chemistry because you knew each other, you know, back then.
That's right.
In Ghana, you know your struggles, you know what is at stake for you. So it makes it beautiful to observe on the sideline. Big up McDarlington too, man.
Hey, man like Darlington, big up Paul Akwabwa and all the gang, everybody.
The amount of time that, you know, me and Mark will spend back in the day talking about music, you know, because he's family friend, you know, my cousin.
That's
and
right.
are very, very close. Yeah, so we've known each other way back when he was in South. You know, imagine driving all the way from East to South.
Wow.
And then I get there and he would tell me, oh, you know, he's working on this record with you guys. You know, there was this Christmas track he did back in the day. You know, he had almost pretty much everyone on. So he's always been one who's keen in assembling like the UK Ghanaian artists.
You know, I always say this, that McDarlington is someone that I just like his energy. You know, he's full of positivity. And I like in times like this, I always say this, that for me, when I meet people, when I'm vibing with people, it's the energy that matters to me. Do you know what I mean? Once, you know, because that is like a combination of their thoughts and, you know, everything. And Mark always projects that, you know, level of positivity. You know, he always wants to help wherever he can. And he can tell you the history of almost every Ghanaian artist who has made it, how they met, how he helped, and all of that. And you know, big up man like Darlington, you know.
No, he was a dope MC, what you call it, like a master of ceremonies back then, you know. Did he mention his name is Apollo? You know, those days when there were flyers in Apollo.
Oh my days! Now this is a big secret. I'm gonna be seeing him with it.
So that's why he was so connected to the industry. You know, not from the production point of view, but from promotional side.
That's right.
So he and General Marcus and all these guys have been around from time.
Wow. And he was part of the people who brought Buju Banton to Ghana. Back in the day.
That was 92, imagine. I was 12 years old then.
Yeah, man.
So you remember that show? That the buzz was crazy. Because at the time there wasn't that many radio stations, you know. It was just
at all.
Yeah. It was crazy. So it's good to know how the industry's progressed and to have figures who will be able to pass on such knowledge. It's terrible that our documentation in Ghana is so bad that things that happened in like mid-90s, we're still arguing over who was this, who was that. You know,
that's right.
Crazy. So it's important that, you know, we preserve some of these things going forward. And like Instagram Live now, we're able to have these conversations and it will be on record for a lifetime.
That's right. You know, I like just talking about documentation. I know like we're in a time where people do their Instagram posts and after 3 months declare everything, declare their Twitter and everything. And I'm like, you know what? One of the reasons why I actually never want to clear stuff is, you know, when you go back, it's gonna take you back. You know what I mean? One day when you're no longer here, people will go on your page and see, oh wow, on this day this is what he did. It will be easier for, you know, the history to be, you know, put together. So
you know, everybody and their approach, but it's important that you leave some marks that people can trace. We've lost a lot of historical stuff, you know, due to poor documentation and record keeping. So very important now, man. So yeah, you look at the scene now. You're a typical example of someone who's pretty much seen both sides.
That's right.
Started off
Yeah.
in Ghana. Let's just talk about that for like a few minutes.
Sure.
How did you break in the game?
So my thing. So I grew up in Dansoman. In Dansoman, with people like Screwface, Terry Bonchaka. You know, I was in the same church with Samini, and Dansoman. Yeah. So Dansoman at the time used to be like the dancehall hub, you know, in the Ghana music industry, because we had people like Sonny Bali and all of them coming from DC. I don't know of Yogi Dogi, but I suspect he might also have been.
Yogi was from that end as well, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so it was the thing. So that's how we started. You know, shows will come up, we go, but then Samini and Terry Dems were like my seniors in the game. So we will go and watch them, and you're like, wow, Charlie Terry, man, you know, like he's killing it. Samini will be killing it. And, you know, I was just following. And then when the whole thing actually got serious was right after secondary school, which was from Accra Academy, because I was doing it there in a group. So right after school, I'm like, boom, I need to take this serious. You know, the funny thing was, I did science in Accra Academy and then shifted to marketing when I went to the Polytechnic, Accra Polytechnic. So over there, I'm like, you know what? I was just having chats with people. People tell you, oh, you know, this is my job, you know, and when you grow up and, you know, you complete and you come into marketing, you're going to be making maybe X amount, let's say maybe 1,000 a month and stuff. And I was like, by then I had already done so many features, making money from featuring and stuff like that. But I'm like, look, if I feature 3-4 people, that is 1,000. So, Charlie, if 1 full month before 1,000, there you go long for me, you know. So it was more like, you know what, let me go harder. So I kept pushing. Then Natalie, who is now in Shatter Movement, you know, the how do you call it, his soldier guys, you know what I mean, the militants, he called them.
Militants,
so, yeah, man. So Natalie featured me on the track and we did it at Sugar Tone Studio. So I went, did my verse, and Sugar is like, yo, I'm feeling you, man, let's work. So we agreed on things, boom, boom, boom. Within like 2 weeks, we recorded the whole album, you know, and his brother started shopping it around, got to people like Delay, who started championing, and Mufti Dabre, that time he was at Peace FM, he was pushing it. And then I started getting like label wars, you know, Ghana's own style of label wars. Lisa Music wanted it because Cocovelli pitched it. What's the other one? Kwame Mickey, Ketchup Music, they also wanted the album. And then Frame Prince Music. So Delay, you know, the legendary Delay, she helped me to choose. And, you know, I went with Frame Prince. And I'm so glad I did. So that was how come I came in the game with my first single, Bema Be Up a Virgin. And then, you know, it started taking off.
So this about 10 or 12 years ago, right? I remember I was in Germany, and
yeah,
you remember Dada Katie?
Oh yes, Dada Katie, yo, big up. That man is a legend, man.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if I ever told you this story, but
yeah,
I had a Dada Katie because my family are in Germany. So
okay,
Dada Katie came home. We had an interview. And then I asked who was his favorite artist.
Yeah.
He mentioned you.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm surprised I've never mentioned this to you.
That is crazy. You know, no wonder the first time me and him met, we vibed so much. The first time I met him was 2017 when we were doing the Ghana Tourism Ambassadors thing. And we literally stayed up late. We went to one of the popular nightclubs in Kumasi. We stayed up late and we spoke at length, you know, and he's a very positive man, you know what I mean? The crazy thing is, I was also feeling his vibe back then, you know, his music is timeless, you know what I mean?
Oh,
so, yeah, man, that is a big deal for me.
Yeah, that's the secret then, because he mentioned, and it was very unusual to me, because at the
Yeah.
time you were
Because I was just not
yeah,
really out there like that. Yeah.
yeah. So when he said that, I actually respected him more, because if somebody has good ears, they're not going to
Yeah.
be going for the artist that will be top of their game at the time. No.
That's
So when
right.
he mentioned, and he was like, I think I asked him who he would like to work with, and then he
Yeah.
mentioned you. So I was taken aback about a
Wow.
little bit. Yeah, but I respected that opinion, and I'm surprised I never mentioned it to you. But
Oh
yeah,
man, like
he said
I'm
you
even
were
hearing
intrigued.
that. I'm so grateful still, and
Yeah.
like I just wish maybe we could have done something back in the day. I see you, Priya J 2000. Big up yourself, Alfie. We see you all guys, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why probably you connected very well, because he
Yeah.
had you in mind years
Oh
ago.
man, like
Yeah.
I would have been over the moon, because he was also, see, I used to do this thing where I was looking at the legendary artists and say, oh, who would I like to do
Work with.
stuff with?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I thought of people like him, Lumba, Euphoria Ponsa, and the good thing is, before I left Ghana, I had done most, like with Euphoria, KK, Kofinti, Kofi B, and these are people, for me, the songs we did, I was happy about, but also the fact that they even rated my thing to one of them, because these guys are really talented, you know what I mean? And especially when you're from the dancehall background and stuff, they need to rate you lyrically. So it was really humbling for me. But yeah, man, I need to link up with Dada KD again. We used to chat a lot when we got back after the Ghana visit.
Yeah. So when you next time you see him, I think I last saw him in Germany about 4 years or so ago. But if you see him, just tell him that I said that to you, and he will remember.
Yeah, man.
I think I saw the video
I will.
somewhere on YouTube. I'll look for the video on YouTube and send it to you. I think I've got some.
Wicked.
Yeah. But you left. What time did you leave the industry in Ghana?
I left Ghana in 2010.
Oh.
Yeah, back then my wife was here in the UK. We were having our second son, and I think she had already had him. So I was like, I need to join them, because I believe in chasing your dreams, but at the same time, too, what is the point in maybe becoming so famous in the world if you're not able to instill some positive values in your kids as a father? You know what I mean? So I was just like, no, man, I have to be with them. My wife, I mean, big up, she had sacrificed so much so that we could, be together. So there was no way I was going to leave her by herself. Oh, see, my son has written in the group saying, yeah, it was me. Yeah, Nolan, it was you.
Yeah,
So
shouts to Nolan. Yeah.
yeah, man.
There's someone else as well. Shouts to Callum.
Callum, I see Callum. Yeah.
Callum wants you to say hello to him. So yeah.
Yeah, JPK, family is everything, Reggie. Yeah, big up, brother. Yeah, man.
That's the Godfather. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Godfather was on Hot FM, so he probably has played your songs over and over. Back
man, big up yourself, man.
Right. Hello, Cassie.
Yeah,
Okay.
Cassie, yeah.
Yeah, so at the time you left the industry, maybe just take your mind back. What was the scene like?
The scene, it was really great. I think around that time, Sarkodie was really coming up. I think actually my last show I did in Ghana, it was at Labadi Beach, and it was for Bolare's Empire Entertainment. They were doing something with Interplast, and it was myself, Sarkodie, and there was one other artist, and the game was it was getting more active, and I think it was around that time where people like Wuta, Prayer, and KK Fosu, Dems, they were really killing it around that time. But then what I noticed was, like, almost amongst ourselves, all the artists, especially those of us who had done 5 years and over, there was a lot of you know, I wouldn't say resentment, but it was more like people were getting a bit fed up, you know, of the system. You know what I mean? And so, like, you meet this artist, he's like, yeah, man, you go do this show, you know, this fee should be. And there was a lot of fights between artists and event promoters and stuff like that. I remember back then, Castro had made a point that for him, he wasn't going to perform for anyone if they were not going to pay him 15 million, which is now what is it, 1,500 Ghana? Do you know what I mean? But it was like, do you know what I mean? So the rates, yeah, the rates were not, you know, so it made people. So for me, it was more like, yo, I'm here doing this. And remember, I have a family in Europe. So I'll go play a show. I need to change cities into pounds or into euros, send it over. And it's not going to be that enough. You know what I mean? So it was like, man, let me just join my family and just, you know, hustle out there. But yeah, it was nice. Remember, the internet thing was not really big. All we had was YouTube, Facebook. Yeah, YouTube, Facebook, and yeah, Twitter, Instagram. None of these things were, you know, there back then. Yeah, so we're heavily dependent on radio.
Yeah, that was the time. I think that was an era as well that we made some of the best Ghanaian music. You know, to be honest, you know,
and bro, not to cut you here, but I think one aspect of the Ghana music cycle that people probably haven't realized is the UK industry, the Ghana UK system. It has really held a lot of boys down, because I tell you, when you're coming up, one of your dreams is, boom, I want to make a hit so that I can go and perform in London, you know, or go to Canada, because when all these other artists travel to UK, you know, that is like the level, you know what I mean? So, and I think most of you guys were making sure our music was heard here. Do you know what I mean? The number of UK DJs who tell me, oh, bro, I used to play your song here, I used to do, I'm like, wow, man. So big up yourself, and thanks so much for, you know, holding all of us down.
No, it's a pleasure, because, I mean, some of us, we when the movement started in Ghana, we were there, you know, we saw how everything were like. So we had friends already within the industry. So when we came here, I mean, shouts to Castro, it was his birthday, or was it last week?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Anda, man.
I had one of my first show I ever did organized for GBC at the time, when they were having their 70th anniversary. Was for Castro. This was before he first traveled. So at times I'll be with him, and Alodia will call him, and you know, we'll have like
hey, big up man like Alodia, man. You know, Alodia literally, he's like the Ghana music scene vampire, and he's seen everyone.
Oh yeah. So you know, I had Castro on, I had Nkase on the show.
Yeah, but
so when I moved to London, this was like in 2005, you know. So at the time, I already had a connection, and my cousin was on the radio, Billy. Yeah. So Billy took me to Hot FM, because he knew I was doing the radio stuff, you know, back in the year. So that was my introduction, and it was beautiful, you know, that reconnecting with these guys.
Yo, man like Alodia is in here.
Oh, shouts to Alodia, man.
Alodia, we have to interview you and honor you, you know, because like, man,
I've got to sit down with him, you know. But
you have to.
Yeah, because almost every artist that's come through the UK was through Alodia or Akwaba, but he was mostly doing the shows, and it wasn't happening anywhere else in the world.
And let me say this, one of the things Alodia did that I really, you know, really respect him for. I remember when I first came here, he was doing this Ghana independence thing, and it was with Castro and 5-5. But then when I came, I told him
I remember that show.
You remember that one? Yeah.
Someone
done them and things. And Alodia is like, yo, Reggie, Charlie, make we do this. We look at doing like 4 shows, bam. So, you know, it's like, so what we saying, money-wise? And I'm like, boss, I mean, I'm here, so let me know. And, you know, I'm proud to say even as at that time, Alodia paid me around the thousands mark. Do you know what I mean? Which is even to date, I'm not sure all artists get it like that from other promoters. You know, big up, you know, Alodia and, you know, Akwaba. Do you know what I mean? So it's nice when people do stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And I just hope that the industry will keep, you know, getting better, and we can all make money. People like yourself will be able to, you know, help more boys, you know, than you're already doing.
That's the whole push, you know. So anytime the artists will come here, I mean, I already had connections with them back home, so it was easier to rekindle that and then have them on the show, and you know, it was just beautiful. And to see how the movement has progressed to date is incredible. But from your perspective, I mean, how, from what you left and then what you're seeing now, you've seen you've seen both sides. We'll talk about the transition one second, but
that's right.
Where do you think that the industry is, our industry, Ghanaian industry?
So right now, if you ask me, creativity-wise, if you ask me, the ability to compete with international artists, Ghana is really there now. Say, for instance, if you bring out Burna Boy from Nigeria, I mean, Stonebwoy can easily match up boot for boot. You know, on any day, if you bring say Stylo G from the UK, or even Beanie Man, I'm sure you put Samini on the same track, he's gonna deliver. Do you know what I mean? But whereas there used to be a time where the Ghana sound was very different from the global sounds, be it Afrobeat or, do you know what I mean? But now it's like, due to, you know, the easy access to internet and, you know, companies like Spotify and Apple, iTunes springing up, now boys are listening globally. So, for instance, when I listen to new cuts like Kusiata, I'm like, yeah, this boy listens white. You know, when you've been around music, from the melodies an artist sings, you can tell the sort of materials they're growing up on. You know what I mean? So, say someone like maybe Kim Promise, you know, okay, he's doing his Ghana thing, but you can tell he is exposed to the global sound. So when it comes to that front, it's really good. The money aspect of it is where the problem lies. Right now, what I see is a few people at the top, you know, like 5, 10 top 10, top 5 artists. Yo, big up man like original Memzi, man. you know Memzi, right? Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to recollect that.
No, you need to link up with Memzi, man. Yo, Memzi, we need to make this connect happen, man. Trust me. He's one of the people that you and him will flow very well, because, like, you know, he does stuff. You know, I can give you a long list. UK artists, top DJ. I think the last time we met, he was actually interviewing Charlie Slot. So big up man like Memzi, yeah.
We'll connect. Yeah.
Yeah, man. You know, so like I was saying, so now it's like there are top 10 artists who actually see the bag, and then the remaining 90% is like they're just getting, you know, the left or the crumbs or the leftover. You know what I mean? Like, it's not where it should be, and that is the problem. Because back in the days, remember, there were so many local labels in Ghana, from Agicode, Goodies, you know, Megastar, Big Ben, you know, Prince Dave, all these places, Frame Prince, you know. But now it's like all of those things are gone. So the artists need to hustle, record the music themselves, put it out, and then they, you know, yeah. So that's what I would say.
And well, the question is that what do you think accounted for some of these breakdown? Because it's like it's reversed 360.
Yeah,
you know, with the way, as you mentioned, because it was very vibrant.
This was there was era. Money.
Yeah,
you know,
think there was a global musical slump anyway. You know, I think a lot of people didn't recover since then. But from your point of view, what do you think accounted for the breakdown of these labels?
I think it's mainly because of lack of systems and structures. You know, because like I remember very well, I'm not kidding you. I remember in 2004, 2003, I happened to be, because Ronnie Coaches, may his soul rest in peace, of Bookback, was my, godfather when it comes to the raga thing. And we're traveling, and, we got to his house, and he's like, Reggie, I need to chase Ajicode. We need to take our balance. I'm like, oh, wow, really? And that time, bro, I'm not kidding. The deal was 100 and something million back then. Do you know what I mean? So there was a lot going on. But what has led to this is that all these labels, all these investors that came in, they kept pumping money. Hey, big up man like PM Star. I see you, bro.
Charles to PM, yes.
Yeah, man. So they kept pumping money, but not really recouping as much as they pumped. And every business, if the investment is higher than the returns, you're definitely going to hit a roadblock. So that's how come they started pulling out one after the other, and then most of them shifted to gospel, and then they realized that also became saturated. And now all of them are like, man, Ghana music, we're not going to waste our time. Because remember, artists, CD rights used to be a thing here in London. Every artist prays that they buy your CD rights so you get some, you know what I mean? All of that is gone. So right now is a time that the people who are in charge, we need to hold them accountable. We're not going to accuse anyone.
What do you mean who? Who are you going to hold accountable?
The Gamros, the musicers, the Creative Arts Council, all these people, the tourism and the culture ministry, we need to sit with them and say, listen, guys, like this is, big up man like KY, this is a serious business. I mean, in UK, the music industry brings in billions.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Billions. And why should it be that maybe one artist like Ed Sheeran is able to thrive in his country and become a multimillionaire over a period of 6-7 years, worth over 120 million, and a king of high life like Branty Amachi Dede? Yes, he's doing well, he is okay, you know what I mean? But maybe for the hard work he's put in from the 80s to date, he should be more than what Ed has, because in this country, Paul McCartney has more than Ed, even though Ed is reigning now. But Paul McCartney from the 60s, it's because the systems work. So now is the time for us to say, no, we're not going to sit down and we're not going to apply the same tactics of calling people thieves and stuff like that. No, we ain't doing it that way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, I've seen what the works has been, but
yeah,
if you speak to the other side of it, like the promoters and all of that, what they say also is, apart from the structures not working, they also cite things like the artists are difficult to work with, in terms of attitude, professionalism, stuff like that.
You know why? You know why all those things happen? It's like the problem with the systems and structures is so interconnected to everything that see, the artist, when he makes his first hit, I can tell you for a fact, if he's not lucky, the first few months he doesn't really see good money. The first few months of your first hit, you're not really seeing big money. So you go on TV, your music is playing on radio, you're not getting royalties and everything. Everyone thinks you're making it. So when a UK promoter hits them up and says, yo, I want to bring you to London, they go, wow, this is my chance to, milk it. But then in their attempt to milk it, because, it's like the pressure back home is so strong, they have to package it. Boys perform some big boy things. So say, if they need to get something more than what they usually get, they can. And then that is where it becomes. So maybe, because the thing with being booked as an artist, there are a lot of factors that go into it. You can ask Alodia. When we came off X Factor, his company, Alodia Promotions, booked us for an event back in 2016. Ask him. Myself and Bollie, we were having chat with him. Oh, you know what, boss? maybe tell the promoter, tell the booking agent this, that. Oh no, Reggie, guys, this amount is too high. We need to do something about it. And we're like, okay, yeah, we'll speak to them. And in the end, we got somewhere. You see, so the problem is the artists are overcharging because they feel like if they take what they actually deserve, they are cheapening themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, rightly so. Yeah, rightly so.
You know, so now they have to, but then they are missing out and they are hurting the business. Because like, look over here in this country, like Live Nation and Co, Wireless Festival and things, bro. There are boys you see on that platform who are not taking anything, but it is the platform. Yeah. There are boys, you know, yes, they might pay DJ Khaled maybe 400,000 or maybe three. Even that, even with people like Khaled Dems, there are some event houses that they have to slash their fees because of the platform. You know, so these are all things we need to educate the boys back home and say, look, when a UK promoter wants to book you, do not maybe try and overcharge. Reason with them. Let your team sit with them. Boss, my artist is you know, coming up. We want to do our UK tour. Maybe Alodia or Akwaba says, okay, we can do 4 cities. London, Manchester, Birmingham. Because one thing I like with people like the event organizers here, they keep it real with you. Oh, I don't think you've got enough fans here. Let's not worry ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Or let's go here. So you sit with them and say,
they do their checks, so they know
exactly.
Yeah,
they know
where.
Exactly. You know, so you say, okay, boss. So what we saying? Let's talk figures. Okay, maybe in Ghana when he travels this far, does this, does that. This is around the fee we take. Can you match us? Can you match it up? Oh man, maybe it's too much for me. Let's, you know, you negotiate, because that is what even world-class booking agents, they do. Sometimes they even throw it to the person coming to book the artist, because, you know, you might think maybe in Ghana you charge 20,000 Ghana per show, and you might think it's really big. But maybe the promoter coming for you normally pays people 50,000 Ghana cedis.
Yeah. So
if you have a good negotiator, not one of your errand boys to be talking and, you know, flexing people, but real people, you know what I mean? And I'm sure, you know, with time, all of these ideologies are going to be corrected. That is what we need to do. We need to create that food chain, that economic system that works for all, you know. So if maybe Teddy wants to have an interview with Reggie N Bollie, Reggie N Bollie should sit up and say, yo, this is our big brother Teddy. He wants us to do this. Let's do it. We don't have to, you know, wait till maybe you are presenting the Brit Awards before we start bigging you up online and saying Ghana to the world and them kind of things. You know what I mean?
But that's the problem. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, you know, and you don't build an industry on people's assumption that because you are an artist coming in the game, you should have what you call it, doing favors for people. No.
Yeah.
But the favors and all of these things are usually on the back end of things. It doesn't get in the public domain. Nobody knows how much people do get you know, how do you call it? Nobody knows how much people get paid for what they're doing. It's got to be back.
PM says happy birthday to you.
It's not my birthday, you know. I don't know why people think it's my birthday. Is next month on the 30th.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, it was my son's 5 months. Yeah, so just.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. But PM, you can send a present. Don't worry, I'll accept that. You know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I think what some of these conversations is that there are connections. You know, there are people you know, like you and Alodia, you've mentioned as an example. You know, there are connections that go way back. So your business deal, and even though it's going to go through the right channel by your booking agent, it's going to be much more flexible for someone like Alodia or for me because of our existing relationship.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't be what an industry should be built on.
That's right. We need the proper structures, because imagine if we have like a proper booking agency in Ghana, you know. So say Alodia wants to book maybe 4 artists for Ghana independent.
One second, please. I think there is a what's her name, Molly.
Oh yeah, Molly and Moore. Hey Molly, big up yourself. Yeah, you're logged in, innit?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we love you too. We love you too, Amy. Much love. Oh yeah. Hopefully in future you see us do the same thing on TV for you. Yeah, you loved us on the X Factor. Much love. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
So like I was saying, like if we have like real booking agencies in Ghana, an event organizer wants to do something in Ghana, he just picks up the phone. Hey, can I get your boys? This, that. Because what you don't know is, even here in this country, agencies strike deals on credit.
Yeah.
With big time promoters. You know, so if we all do things as professionals, if there is a real agency that says, look, let's go do this show for Alodia or for Akwaba or whoever, and says, yeah, at the end of it, this is how much they're going to be. An agreement is signed. Do you know what I mean? An agreement is signed, legal binding document. So even if the promoter doesn't pay you straight before the show, you know the money will come in.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Recently, myself and Bollie, we tried this party thing with PM. Yeah? And this is just a party, just we chilling, but you realize no, a lot goes into it. And this is for just a few people. Let's hang out in the club, chilling. And you realize no, it takes a lot. So when people decide to take on like a 5,000 or a 10,000 capacity venues, definitely we need professionals to work around it.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to acknowledge that it goes beyond just friendship. It's business.
Yeah.
So I saw your videos. A few other artists from back in the day have put out videos. What exactly, if you can break it down for us, what exactly is the some would say what is your issue?
Okay, so this is what started the whole thing. I think when the whole world came on a lockdown, we realized that myself and Bollie, we had so many shows lined up. Even today, we had a show, even not for the lockdown. We had a show today and tomorrow, and so we're like, oh wow, now we can perform, so what's up? Then you're like, oh wow, it's nice that we live in the UK, because now, by way of being taxpayers as self-employed people, do you know what I mean? We get to get our accountants to work on things in terms of whatever support that comes in. Aside that, we get our monthly royalties and everything. So I'm like, wow. So what happens to our fellow musicians back home who are maybe not at the very top, but let's say the B-list artists all the way down? What happens to them? Because we know Gamro pays people royalties like 50 cedis, 70 cedis, 100 cedis and stuff like that. So what's going to happen? So myself, Bollie, Mr. Darlington, Paula Kwabwa and co, we're just having a chat. And we're like, man, something needs to be done about this. Something definitely needs to be done about it. Then we said, yo. So I spoke with Darlington and Bollie. We left it off. And then I think it was 2 weeks ago weekend. Then Darlington calls me. He's like, yo, I'm on the phone with JQ, the legendary producer JQ, and DJ Ashman, and I would like you to join the call. So I joined in, and they were also expressing the same sentiments. Ashman is like, yo, bro, like most DJs are not going to perform or play at events and stuff. JQ is like, yo, I've been doing this for a long time. Gamro should be able to say, maybe this is X amount for all these years of your royalties, because apparently he has never taken royalties from them. So we were like, no, then we need to do something. So that is how come the whole thing started. And then we planned our meeting, sat down, discussed everything, and right from there we said, look, what do we want? Because the truth is, myself and our team have been working on this whole trying to rewire the Ghana music industry for almost 3 years now. Almost 3 years now. But you go and then you've got some people down there who do not really want to, you know, make way for the right things to be done. So this time we're like, okay, we're not going to go as just our unit. We know the reality and the pressure on people back home. So let's get everyone who feels very passionate about this. Let's come together. We've got the know-how. We know how we can connect all these dots. Once we get the numbers and the pressure is on, we are going to enforce that change. So that is what we've started. And I mean, I couldn't thank enough everyone who is coming on board, you know, from event promoters to artists, legendary artists, you know. And I think we have something big. Today I've had people, I had a call with a gentleman who is actually, he's already got his distribution company here in the UK, but he's a Ghanaian. And he wants to establish in Ghana. But when he tries to go in, he's not getting the right. And that is what we want to avoid. We want all these businesses to be able to come in and thrive. And everyone is going to eat.
I think that there's problem with the gatekeepers, you know, trying to keep everybody out. And then secondly, the artists themselves, you know, because you have a situation where people are individualistic, you know, they only care about if they are getting their shows, they are getting their streaming money, they don't care about anything. Then you can see the divide, you know, those who are on the top of their game,
really at the top,
are not really bothered, you know. There is others as well who
but I would like to say big up my brother Shatawale. He gave me a call yesterday and we spoke at length about this, and you know, I really rate him for even that move. And I told him, I said, yo, you know, because we go way back, myself, him, Screwface, you know, all these other cats. So it was really nice for him to say, yo, man, let's do this, you know. And that is all we need. When people have that clear idea of where we are taking this, because we want to create a new economy, you know. The backing vocalist who sings on an artist's music should be able to get her performing rights, royalties. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, you have like Coolio. We've seen a lot of people who have one hit, and they've been living on that for like their entire life now. You know, I think we have just about a couple of minutes to go. Should we come back for like maybe another 20 minutes, or would that be okay?
Yeah, man. Yeah, sure. That's totally fine. Yeah.
We were at a very crucial point of our conversation. You know, talk about the way the industry has been, you know. It's interesting, you know, because if you listen to both sides, then you get a bigger picture of the argument, you know. It's not
exactly.
It's
and for me, this is what I see, like, you know, from the exposure that we had over here and we still have in this country, like, you know, the way things are done, we just want to make sure, because the truth is, until Ghana gets to the point where, you know, we speak the international music business language, we will never attract investors, because it's more like the whole world, when it comes to the real music markets, are speaking, you know, proper English, and we want to speak broken English with them. So our terms that we are using, it doesn't connect. They don't get us. And we don't get it. So this is what we want to break that barrier.
Are you talking literally like language?
No. I mean in terms of the music business. Exactly. The style of operation and everything.
Yeah.
We need to, you know, because right now, if you ask me, what, like, artists do not even have a very good reason to say they're going to do radio promotion. Because when they do the radio promo, you have to, whether you like it or not, you have to pay payola. Payola is still in Ghana. But you can't blame the DJ. Because when you go deeper into the problem, you realize most of the DJs who will play your song for you to get a hit, the stations are not really paying them well, except the really top dons in there. The average ones are not getting enough. You know, so then they need to find a way. I mean, there are examples of people who work on radio stations for like 1 year in Ghana. Dear, I'm on live here. Can you take it to your bedroom, please? Sorry.
life of a dad,
Okay. You know, yeah, you
yeah,
know.
life of a dad.
So, you know, so like they can't you know, say they're not going to. Sorry, Joe, can you use your earpiece, please? Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so that is
we
it.
are, we
That
are
is the.
always negotiating with the kids, you know. That's the
I
thing.
tell you, especially the girls, isn't it? That is the problem. So, like now, you have to do this pilot and whatever, and then after that, you can't expect royalties. You know, people who have got hits being given 60 Ghana. And even the style of paying royalties. Me and you know, in this country, when your royalties come in and you want to verify, the Excel sheet is there. You look at it, you know where your song was being streamed the most, which country. Do you know what I mean? Everything is well broken, so you know. And then again, when the royalties are going down, you can sit down and say, okay, all right, I'm losing money. Maybe I need to up my game. Maybe I need to get a stronger radio plugger or TV plugger so I can make a bigger song and, you know, I can eat and feed my family. But that is not the case in Ghana.
But what's the typical what you call it, typical manager in Ghana, artist manager? You know, what would you describe as a typical?
Okay, so now again,
from your experience.
Yeah, from my experience, it used to be managers and label bosses dealing on behalf of the artists. And I always say this. I remember my first album, Film Prince, after he signed me and everything, it was like, okay, Reggie, we're going to restart your whole campaign again. This weekend, you're going to Kumasi. Frankie Taylor will pick you up when you get there, and you guys will go do all the rounds. And, you know, I got to Kumasi, Fox FM, did the interview. Then we go here. After that, all the DJs grouped. Boom, 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 boom. They did their own thing. They went to some fufu joint with me. We ate. Nobody asked me payola. You know, so you could tell the business was between, you know, the people at the top, leaving the artists free.
Yes.
So it would be very hard for you to hear maybe someone like Goody saying, oh, Charlie, the boys, VIP, they be ungrateful and things, because they were running the business and then they get the money and then it gets to the artist. You see, for us now, like the typical manager is more like, you know, I mean, even all over the world, it is accepted that best managers tend to be people who have your best interest and they are good friends, you know, who want to see you win. But at the same time, we need people to be trained in this business, you know, because let me tell you something. In this part of the world, the type of manager you have determines how much you could get for your record deal.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
You show up with your friend who thinks he needs to be cocky to what you're going to walk out with some peanuts. Whereas someone will walk in with like a well-respected manager, you might have a better song, but they will get a bigger budget from, hey, I see you, Shauna. Shauna is like a British model, you know, big up Shauna. She was in the Yekodi video, you know, walking hand in hand with me. So yeah, I see you still out for talent as well. You know, so we need to now say, you know what, enough of all these kind of funny games, because one of the biggest problem in the Ghana music industry is fronting, stunting on each other. I need to come across, you know, I need to package and come across richer than I am, or, you know, people do not feel free. Do you know what I mean? And it's all because money knows that did the system inside. So if you know package, they go do you yawa. But you know, in this country, like, I mean, we see it. Ed Sheeran walks around in his t-shirt. He performs in his t-shirt. Stormzy performs in just plain t-shirt. But when he finishes, he's going to pull up in a Ferrari or a Lambo, and you know, this is the levels. Do you know what I mean? So people are excited for each other to win in the West. We need that in Ghana. For me, bro, like, I'm of the thought that we should all win as Ghanaians, you know, wherever we find ourselves, because that is what the Nigerians have done. The takeover of Wizkid, Davido, Burna Boy, you know, all these boys. It's not because they do better music than any other person. They have their people in here, in the UK system, in Africa, and they've connected the dots.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
that's the thing. It's a matter of collective winning. In employment terms, you know, you say collective bargaining. You know, where the more you are, the more powerful your terms are. You know,
exactly.
The conditions you present to people are more powerful than you as an individual. You know,
That's it.
And that's something that, with my experience with the Ghana industry, you know, there is not that unity. Even with the drive that you're on now, you can tell from the back that it's already split. So you're already having challenges with convincing people to join something that is going to benefit.
But you know, but the good thing is, this is what we're doing for us. Like, and we said it. I mean, we really got lovely people coming on board, and this is what we've said, that what we are trying to do is not a thing of trying to gain media attention, trying to vilify people, calling them names and stuff like that.
No.
And it's, as much as we need the numbers, the real job is behind closed doors. You know, when we are able to bring music execs from UK or from South Africa to say, look, these are the numbers. Ghanaian boys are doing these numbers, you know, so we need your, you know, company to set up here in Ghana. That is, we don't need the whole of Ghanaian artists to. And for me, it's like, this is just the first step. All of us having one voice. At the end of the day, I'm not sure everyone will jump on it, which is also acceptable if people are not convinced, because you get the vibe that these things have been done in the past, it starts and it goes off. But then I can also assure anyone who thinks this is going to be something similar that it's not going to be. And the reason being, we get it. We get it from both worlds. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. If I spent my whole life in UK trying to come and say fix Ghana system, I will get lost because I don't know the terrains. I don't know the, you know, the roadblocks and everything. But when some of us, you know, take, say, McDarlington, everyone on board, and we've got people in Ghana, you know, from Trigmatic to all these other, Dead Body and all of them. Dead Body is already doing his thing in the US, you know, and the whole squad doing this are people who are well enlightened in this business, you know, because this is a very tricky subject that if you don't know what you're talking about, you'll be caught off guard.
Yeah, because it's a massive industry. I mean, the music industry, it dates back hundreds of years. You know, it's not something that you can just use a day or two to explain to somebody. You've got people who have to be continuously developing their knowledge. You know, gain up to time with what is happening with technology, with even preferences, you know, human preferences, because it's customer service anyway.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, so you've got to understand what the consumer really wants, and then how you can deliver that. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. So, you know, if you pick up just a campaign for which I know you've given a much thought because of your experience or how the system works here, you've got to get people who are like-minded, who are all going to be pushing in one direction. I know it's in the early stages, so maybe I wouldn't be bombarding you too much with the kind of response you've gotten from the industry or whatever.
No, to be honest, the industry response, I'm not kidding you. I mean, people like Reggie Rockstone are already Samini, they're all, so you can tell the love is there. JQ from, you know, Shashamali, you know, Alodia, all these industry folks want it to happen. And the crazy thing is, like, if you are in the entertainment industry in Ghana and you really don't want this to happen, then I don't know what you want, you know, because the truth is, if we think, and yesterday during my chat with one of my colleagues, I said, look, Ghanaian artists these days are mostly under pressure to go international. They have to go international. Have you ever done an interview and seen Stormzy or watch Stormzy's interview or Tiny Temper's interview or, you know, Adele's interview saying, I want to go and conquer, you know, like it's not a headache for them. No. Do you know why? Because the systems are there. So once you do a good song and your label picks it up here, if the song is flying, the sister label is going to get it in the US or in Canada. And that's how come these artists go global. Yeah, so the best way for Ghanaian artists to go international is to be plugged into the international system. That is how come people like Mr. Easy came through the ranks and boom, we saw them in the UK ranks. Davido and co. They were doing their thing in Africa. But the moment they signed international publishing deals, record deals, look what is happening around them. You know, it's big business. Big business. Yeah, because now if Live Nation knows you have a deal with Universal and they do stuff with Universal, why wouldn't they back your thing, especially with the numbers they have? So now it's like we want to convert all these numbers into money. Everyone must eat. You know, like I said, if the industry is thriving, dancers will be paid well. In this country, people dance and build houses out of it. People have mortgages. Dancers go on tour and come back and pay bills. They are sorted. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Backing vocalists, you know, instrumentalists are making crazy money. Why can't we have the same in Ghana? You know?
Tell you what, you know, when the lawyer and they put together the JQ and P2's what you call it,
the behind the hits,
the clash, yeah. And if you listen to the number of hits, these two guys between them, the number of hits they have, I know there are a lot of them that they didn't even play. Just imagine if the paperwork was right for these guys,
bro. You know, let me tell you
that is generational. That is generational.
Yeah, bro. Music royalties is like the new oil. Just imagine.
It's not new oil. It's always been the oil.
Thank you. You know, and here's the thing. It's like there are times, and sometimes me and Bollie we're like, bro, we're doing this independently. But if you can just go hard, make a song that makes an impact, and you can just sit down and people just play your music and it becomes money for you. What more do you want? You know, so like what you said, I was speaking with one of the guys. I think it was during my chat with Darlington and JQ. And I said, boss, you know, like you said, JQ and Apietus, they both have over 200 hit songs in the Ghana system. Yeah. You know, so imagine the same hits they have if these songs were made in the UK. Someone like Apietus and JQ will be seeing a monthly royalty of not less than probably 150 to 200,000 pounds or dollars per month.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? Because the catalog is crazy, and there's going to be, you know, so now, see, this is where the problem lies. We had the behind the hits, which is brilliant for the culture. Big up, you know, the people behind it, Alodia, Sak, and all the other people involved. So when JQ and Apietus did this, the numbers were just on Instagram. Most of the hits they played back in the days are not linked to, you know, a system that literally will get people streaming. And because remember, what's his name? Timbaland and Swiss Beats one they did. Right after that, all these artists between Babyface and this one. Yes, Teddy Abrokwa, yeah. Their songs shut up on all the streaming platforms. Yeah. You know, by like 100%. So now, just out of this, some of these artists who have come off good after the how do you call it? The clash are now even setting dates to go on tour. Yeah. You see? And why do you think they will be able to do it? Because now the booking agent is going to say, yo, your music is up the roof through the stuff. The label will hit the booking agencies up and say, yo, Live Nation, can we do this with this one? Look, these are the numbers. It's crazy. People want to hear them. Boom, let's put them out there. But the Ghana system, think about it, how nice it would have been that right after the behind the hits thing, maybe Apietu's Mujebaya for 5-5 could have brought them back into the game in a way.
I think you know one thing. It's people underrating the power of what they have. You know, power of you have.
Yeah, it's okay. You can go put it down. It's all right. I'm on Instagram.
Yeah. You know, we love the girls. You know.
Yeah.
So just to think of it, you know, you have an artist who you have 1 million followers on Instagram. What is your conversion to sale? You know, these are some of the things that you have to be asking yourself. So if you get on a platform like having about 3 or 4 million people worldwide tune into a program like that, one, the music is going to go up, the streaming is going to go up. So if you, the artist, you don't make your music really available before going to such a thing, then you're the one losing out. You know,
exactly.
Now Spotify have made it easier that producers are recognized, because in the past when you go on Spotify you don't see
the credits. Yeah.
But now, so which means they recognize that there's some percentages that has to go on. So
that's right.
Before, I mean, it can be hindsight, but for the next thing that Lord, I know he's watching. You know, if they get into something like this, the artists have got to plug their music in the system already before they come on such a platform. Because
exactly,
you've got to be a bit more proactive in your thinking, in terms of your business dealings. You know, so in this case, who do you blame? You can't blame the system. You know, a lot of these artists now, if you look at their socials, they have very high numbers. But you go on the streaming services, their music is not there. It's not even available to listen to. So who are you going to blame? We have a problem in our system in Ghana, but globally the music travels. You know, it's everywhere. Now people have access to music as anyone else in the world. You know, if you go on any of these streaming services, there is so many of them. So if your system back home is not working and you've got the numbers around the world, you can see where your fans are. If you check your Instagram, you can tell where your followers are mostly from, your level of activity. So all this data is available even for free. If you want more, you pay for it, or you employ someone who will be able to dig for you. So
that's it.
It's about
and that's the problem. You know, I sit back and I see, look, social media is a great thing. Like right now, what we are doing, we got all our fans logged in from all over the world. It's a great thing. But here's the problem. When you prioritize maybe Instagram with the pictures and videos and the fun things, and you know, maybe you've got 2 million followers on Instagram, and these people are not becoming your monthly listeners on Spotify or Apple Music, you know, you are killing yourself. But here is the thing. This is whereby if Ghana had the system that literally is connected with other labels, the label team will just sit down. You know, this how come labels will send out a blast, you know, sign up with your email address, this, that. So they get all these numbers, you know, they get all these numbers. I'm on Instagram Live, please, let me finish. I'm begging you. Okay. Go tell mommy. Let me finish. Okay, yeah, it's all right. Don't worry. Go get whatever you want. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
They know how to pitch in. You know, get
yeah.
What you know when that is a bit busy.
You know. Yeah. You know. So. I know. Mommy.
Saw her out.
Yeah. Nolan, can you guys go with Dio? Yeah, I'm talking Dio. Please let me finish what I'm doing. You know. So you know, like, if we had labels working in Ghana, they will easily do all of these migrations from, you know, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, all the way you're gonna see them come on your how do you call it? Your streaming platforms. And that is where you need them. Because to be honest with you, for booking agents to want to book you these days, they pull up your streaming stuff and see where your listeners are. Most of them are based.
common sense, you know.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they pull it up and they're like, okay, so this is maybe a Comfort Quade from Ghana. He's got maybe 200,000 monthly listeners, maybe 150,000 of them are based in Ghana, 30,000 based in the US, 1,000 based in the UK, and he wants us to maybe host him at the O2 Arena. They're going to say, no, you know what, let's not try that. Let's go small, because per your numbers we're seeing for the UK,
yeah,
it's not, you know, it's not going to be a viable thing to do. These are some of the, you know, behind the scenes information that the industry needs to know. You know what I mean? The industry needs to know, like beach producers, like when they come in, like every producer we've worked with, we always tell them, bro, like, yo, give us your number. This is going to be your publishing in case anything comes in. This is what you are entitled and everything, whether you're from Ghana or wherever you come from, you know. But the thing is, the whole Ghana system is upside down, you know, and I see it more like having a lot of money in your pocket, but being held upside down. So the coins, everything keeps falling out, and everyone keeps blaming each other. It's you, but no, it's the system. It's the system, and this is what we want to.
But I think it's about time that we take responsibilities as well.
Yeah,
artists have got to take a level of responsibility, because if you're putting someone on as your manager, on what basis are you putting this person on? If you're putting someone on as your road manager, on what basis are you putting them on? You've got to invest in their education. They could be your friends, which is fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
like you said, they will have your interest at heart. But
yeah.
once they get in that position, they've got to be able to develop as
They
well.
need to be professionals. Yeah, they need to understand it.
They need to be able to evolve as well on your journey. Someone like Stormzy is one of his managers is his best friends, you know. So
that's right.
He's part of the team.
Yeah,
he's learning every day, you know. So he's adding value to the artist, you know.
That's right.
So if these people are not able to do the work that they're supposed to, then you have every right to just change your team, which is understandable. It's not based on, you can't run such an industry on emotions alone.
No. That is amazing. And all these things are stuff that, you know, the artists need to understand. Like, you know, for instance, if an artist takes maybe 100,000 and you call him and say, oh, I want you to come and perform for me. Maybe it's an event for maybe 500 people and I will pay you maybe 20,000. They might get offended and say, but 20,000, you know, like, do you know how much I charge? It's not about how much. There are numbers that go into your fee. You see, but if you have an agent, they're going to show you, because you can't take the same fee for all events. You know, if say, I know one of the biggest plights of foreign-based promoters is when they are trying to get the artists here, especially during peak times. Plane tickets are high, and maybe these artists want to come with like 5 people, and they want to charge on top of this the accommodation and everything. So it's like, it gets very hard. I listened to an interview of an American-based promoter who said, bro, I literally use the whole of my credit card to pay for the plane ticket of an artist, booked the hotel for him, and he didn't turn up. You know, and it's a Ghanaian artist. And, you know, I'm like, some of these things, they need to change. He later found out the artist was chilling somewhere and all of that. we need to, you know, educate the industry. It needs to change. But the main thing is, we want to improve the economical base of the Ghana music industry. And it is a cycle. Once we sort it out from the right angle, it's game.
Where would you start?
It starts with, you know, sorting out where the money comes in first. And that is to do with the people taking receiving the big chunk of the money. And I'm talking the royalty collection people. That is what, because think about it. In UK, royalty collection societies bring in billions. Calculated over years, it gets into the trillions. It's crazy. I think last year, PRS did about, if my memory serves me, about 348 million something. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy money. So if we can get to the source where, you know, the whole river flows, you know, the source of it, and say, okay, this is what is happening here. The radio playing the songs, they are not paying royalties. So we are going to get the right login system. Now people don't have to write on paper. You know, we have companies on standby who can literally wire the whole of Ghana with just 1 or 2 gadgets. You see me? 1 or 2 gadgets. So they how do you call it? The royalty rates set up. You see me? So if, let's say, we want to say discourage the use of foreign music and all of that, we need to push for the laws. So government, we have the pressure group. We are the pressure group to say, Ghana government, we ain't accepting this whole thing. Now we're doing say 90% Ghana music, 10% foreign content, you know, blah 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? And it's all to enhance, you know, ourselves. I was listening, I was speaking to someone, I've forgotten which country. Do you know, during this lockdown, I'm trying to remember the country, the like some sort of directive has been given that they need to play only, is it, it's not Spain. Oh, it's one of these Eastern European countries. They literally playing just artists from their country. I think, I don't know, it's not Slovakia, any one of these countries. And it is because they want to make sure whilst this is going on, people can generate royalties. Do you know what I mean? So we are going to make sure that the system is well wired now. So when they play your music, oh yes, it's Hungary. Yeah, thanks Magdalene for, you know, yeah. You know, we get the system well wired so that if your song is played per track, maybe you get 1 Ghana cedi, you know. So out of the 1 Ghana, maybe the feature artist gets 20 pence, whatever. And then with that means that revenue will be generated. Deserving people will be, you know, will be receiving their money. And on top of that, because we're going to literally fully digitize the whole system, now we can have live numbers. You see, we can have live numbers that the real, you know, people who do the deals behind the scenes can take to, say, labels or publishing companies, can take to maybe let's say like when Black Panther came out. Yeah. You see, say we have serious numbers and everything. A cinema operator in Ghana can say, oh, these are the numbers we have in Ghana. Can we maybe ensure that this is done in our country? This every businessman wants to go where the numbers are, because that's where the money is. We have the numbers. Over 30 million people. The main thing is for the source to be sorted. Once that is sorted, people then will be able to afford to say they're going to shoot a $50,000 music video. So they will pay the right fee to the video director. You see how it works? They can pay the right fee to the dancer. Video comes out. Stuff like having to pay TV stations before they play your video. It needs to be abolished. You see, I know, like, for in our country, they might see it as an extreme thing. But again, if I say we're going to abolish stuff like that, we're not coming to say, oh, you, because you take money, shut down. No, let's sit down and reason. What is the reason why you need to be taking money from artists before you show our video, when the videos are for your TV content?
And it's making you the money with advertisements, you know.
Exactly.
So I think it's the reverse structure.
That is the main thing. But the thing is, the most of the artists in Ghana see it like, oh, they are doing us a favor. No, they're not doing you a favor. Yes, they are helping your career, but you, because TV stations just don't play anybody's video, you know, you need to come well. It needs to be to their standard. So let's sit down, reason. Okay, you know what? Maybe we have challenges here and there, this, that. Okay, so let's find a way out. But we ain't paying how do you call it? For videos to be shown.
But that's an important point, because once the source is well structured,
yeah,
where radio stations have the obligation by law, you know,
yeah,
to keep a good record of whatever tracks, because one, you're going to be paying for it,
yeah,
for the use of those materials. You're going to be
yeah,
paying for it, so
yeah.
it gives you an obligation to also make sure that DJs are not just going to be playing music
And yeah, and here
when
is the
and how
thing,
they like,
and check this out.
because there's
Even the
accountability.
radio stations now, they if they want, they are not going to be chasing their employees. Did you log this on? Because the whole thing is recorded digitally. So if you play Kelvin Boy's song and you don't log it, at the end of the month, you know, we have the numbers. So Gamro can say, these are our numbers, this is how much we expect from your station.
Yeah.
And now, because radio stations are paying per play, now Payola is going to die. Because if you go and take one artist song and you come and wheel it 30 minutes, if let's say we are paying that artist maybe 10 Ghana, you know, 10 Ghana per track, that is like what, about 300 or so given to him.
Yeah.
You see,
that is why it's illegal to take money to play music, because
that's right.
Because it's like I'm getting the little bribe on the corner, and then you get the bigger money because I'm going to be spinning the record over and over.
Yeah,
you know. So
that's right.
So all these things, I think it's a matter of re-engineering the system. You know,
and this is what we are on about. We literally are going to just dismantle everything. And when I say we, I mean the whole industry, backed by professionals. Like, for instance, if maybe Gamro is not effective enough, we're not going to attack Rexomar and, you know, all of these things. No, let's sit down. You know, it's like when you work and you have to sit down with your manager and have your is it PDP or one-to-one?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Let's review your performance. Yeah. You know, you've done this, you promised this, you couldn't hit your target, this, that. You're underperforming. So what we're saying,
without accountability, I think we have a lot of problems, to be honest. You know,
exactly.
There needs to be that extent of people being accountable to us, and then because we have people who have experienced both systems who will come in with some deep work.
We need all of that. Music business accountant. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Look, do you know there have been times me and Bollie, especially when we get very busy, we perform, and forget to really track the money and everything. So we're going to be there, and then our accountant will send an email like, guys, we still haven't received payment for this number of shows you did. But in our minds, maybe because maybe the agent paid X amount some time ago, so it is also in there. You see, so then the accountant is like, no, we haven't received it. Leave it with us, let's chase it. You know, when your distributor brings in your royalty, they go through it. It'll be like, yeah, you stated this number of streams, but we're getting this amount. Can we sort it? We literally have to get all these things, you know, systems, barriers, checks, so that no one will just get up and say, oh, this one, he has one album, let's give him 200 Ghana. This one, he has 2 albums, let's give him 300 Ghana. It doesn't work like that.
No. So that's another thing. You know, shouts to Jerry. Jerry, how you doing? You're killing me with those throwback photos. You know,
Jeremiah. Hey, big up man like Jeremiah. Yeah, man.
Yeah, he was talking about, you know, working with you guys. So I hope,
bro. Listen, I'll be more than, you know, yo Jerry. You know what? Let me say this, bro. See, the position that people like yourself you are now. Most of you are so needed for the system in Ghana, for championing Ghanaian music, you know, because the Nigerian brothers are doing it. And with that, I'll give him the credit, because I remember Etumpan saying to me, he's like, yo, bro, like, Jerry holds me down at 1 Extra and all of that. So big up yourself, you know, for the love of it. But
I don't think I've ever heard anybody play Daughters of Glorious Jesus on the radio, but he did.
You know what I mean? This is what we're talking about when we have proud moments like that, you know. Like, remember when Abranche used to be at Capital Extra and Capital and be championing, you know, people like myself, Fuse, Samini, Sarkodie, and all of that. That is what we need. But now the real thing needs to happen from back home, so that if, let's say, people like yourself are trying to pitch Ghanaian artists to maybe labels or to radio stations, it's easier.
Yeah. Charity begins at home.
That's it.
That statement, it holds a lot of weight. We take it for granted, but until you're able to put your structures in place, you're not going to be able to attract it.
Because bro, the story is really sad. The number of, I remember as of the time Dr. Pabobo passed away, may his soul rest in peace. Pabobo was still selling, and I can tell you he's still selling. Where is his money going to? Why did the man die in such, you know, sad condition? It's not just him. You know,
hundreds of them.
Hundreds of them. And it's like we can't sit down and you know think, oh yeah, we are the lucky ones, you know, the rest can rot in hell. No, we can't do that.
Because it turns around, you know. Some of these things turns around. Imagine if you can make 100 and you are running at a low capacity all the time. It's actually going to impact on you at some point. You know, you might realize, things have slipped through the mat for you. You know, as you can track it now. I mean, I would really want to see things work. You know, but we need a lot of re-education of.
That's it.
People in key positions, and it's not like the money is not there to do these things. The money is there, but it's being misapplied.
Bro, let me share a story that one Ghanaian guy I spoke with today shared with me. Big up yourself, Kofi, if you're tuned in. He says, bro, I was trying to help Ghanaian, because this guy is based here in the UK, trying to work on his music distribution platform. Said, I was trying to get Ghanaian artists on for years, and then I got the chance to work with one. I don't want to mention their name because of money figures.
Who you're talking about, though.
That's right.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
So, and he tells me, you know, within a few months of getting these Ghanaian artists on, some of them were raking in over $100,000 plus. You see me? And he says, look, and these boys were making it. Now other boys have come in. And when he was telling me these things, I believed him, because I know the numbers, the money that comes in when you have one hit song. You know, one hit song is crazy. I mean, think about it. If Spotify is paying people about $7,000 per million stream, and Omi's Cheerleader has done over 1 billion stream, tell me.
Yeah. Do
you know what I mean?
That's the thing. But with the streaming numbers, I mean, I have my own reservations. I know with time they're going to correct some of these things, because you know, with the physical copies of records, you know, some sell for like 20 £20, some are some are like $7. You understand? And so if you're going to standardize and pay everybody the same, it's always
I get where you're coming from.
You understand? Yeah. So if you're going to put all streams, categorize them as the same. I know these are some of the things that they can work out, you know, with time. But it's always a good starting point.
And you know, we've also got Ghanaians who are actually working on their own streaming platforms that will still be like linked with the rest of the world. Like, you know, the way if you have your music out, it will be on Apple Music, Amazon, all of these things. You know, so these are the things we want to encourage.
Yeah. Because I mean, I can mention his name. Sway has a distribution platform with New Rain, you know, which his main focus is mainly on African artists, and particularly Ghanaians, you know, because of his origin and our industry is in dire need of things like this, you know. So
and that's the thing. Like, these are the things we want to be supported. You know, we want to make sure, like, it becomes the coolest thing to be doing Ghana music. Right now, when it comes to African music, the coolest places are Nigeria and South Africa. But even the Nigerians are leading. You know, now if you say you're a Nigerian artist in the West, you have respect, because the Davido has represented the band, you know, more Wizkid, all these people, Tiwa Savage and all of that. We want to see like the likes of Efia, Awendo, and all of these people on those platforms, because they are that talented. You know, but we all know music business thrives on money. see when number one came in the scene, look what happened in Ghana. All of a sudden, it was like a new blood had been pumped into everyone around the music scene.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's true. That's very true. My brother, man. I mean, it's all on us. You know, we all have a role to play. You know, not just a collective. Because if it thrives, everyone benefits.
We all win.
Yeah, and it's not just you, the artist, your family. You know, you're going to be having a lifetime of support if you're around or you're not around. You know, so if people are calling for things like this, you know, you should give it an ear and see what the benefits are. You know, once structures are in place, if you don't have, it's not an association. This is a matter of requirements for every industry. You know, in every country. So we all have to support to make sure that those bridges are built. Whatever has happened in the past is gone. But
it's gone.
Moving forward, let's protect the property that we have, because it's intellectual property, huge business, man.
Oh
we all need to support. So yeah, we're gonna leave it here.
That's right.
But at least I get your perspective, and we know where we're gonna be.
Exactly, and we all need to, you know, like you said, let's all do this together. And it doesn't matter which role you play in the music industry, you know, whatever you can do, like what we're doing now, we're starting the conversation. Whoever is going to log in will say, oh, so this is what is happening in Ghana. This is where it could go, you know. So that's how we need to do it. Talking about it, sharing it, but the real work on the ground, the real business will be conducted whilst the noise is going on, because we need to raise the awareness. Do you know what I mean? Because easily we might rush into, oh yeah, let's go behind the scenes and strike deals. But when the grounds are not well prepared, you know, it's not going to work. So
because for a seed to grow, it needs to fall on the good soil.
The right soil, yeah, exactly.
You've got to, you know, do your preparations, you know, to make sure that these things germinate and blossom. So yeah, good starting point.
Yeah,
let's all see the sense in it and give it a push. You know, that's the most important thing. You know, and there is a lot of like-minded people out there that will be able to come in.
Bro, I must say we are blown away by the response at the moment. Like I'm saying, from all corners, you know, the legends, everything, legendary beat makers, legendary artists, all corners, the support is coming in, and you know, this is definitely going to move. And I'm sure, you know, it is possible. We definitely can achieve it.
Yeah. Salute, my brother.
All right, bro.
Love
big up everyone who tuned in.
Yes.
We love you all. Big up man like Darlington, Alodia, PM, Jeremiah Isiama, you know, everyone who logged in. Let's keep the conversation going.
Thank you guys all. I mean, we're going to be bringing you an in-depth conversation when this is all over. Because
that one will be a Reggie N Bollie.
A Reggie N Bollie, man. Shout out to Bollie.
Yeah, man.
You know, so can you imagine the amount of revenues Kiss Your Bride till date?
Bro, till date, that song still hits. It slaps hard. You know, Kiss Your Bride, like literally, even when we were on X Factor and stuff, like other Africans are like, oh my God, you guys did Kiss Your Bride, like, and they are like Congolese and stuff. They're like, yeah.
It plays everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's an official anthem
big one for you know. So
I just hope that, you know, all those mistakes that were made in the past where things were not, because at the time copyright and registering your property was there. So
yeah,
if it had been done back then, at least a little would have trickled in by now, you know. But thanks, my brother, you know.
All right. Thanks so much. Regards to the family and everyone who logged in.
I'm going to be dropping the new one on Saturday. So, yeah, let's keep it ringing, man. Peace. All right, thanks, guys. All those who were able to log in. Yeah. So, yeah, peace, my brother. It just came through. We couldn't even read all of them. Yeah. I appreciate you all for your messages, and stay blessed, stay safe, stay home. That's the most important thing. Protect yourself, protect your health service, and protect your family. Peace.
The Soundboy
Go by
Session,
Teddy.
the ultimate podcast of music, views, reviews, and interviews with Teddy Abrokwa.